Don't be scared.
All right. Welcome to another edition of Vegas BadBoyz, a podcast. And I'm DJ Impact, and I got Simon Street with me again. And we have another panel for you. And I'm pretty excited for everyone that we have on. Of course, this is our episode 3, and we're doing the state of African Americans in professional wrestling is our topic. And we're just going to see where everybody is feeling right now when it comes to the profession. Here to help us to talk about that, let's start it off with the Mrs. Mazzerati. She's trained at FSW, former FSW and OVW women's champion. She's participated in the first ROH women's champion tournament. She's also been on Impact Wrestling, which of course is one of my favorite shows, and appeared on AEW Dark. How you doing, Maz?
How's it going, everybody? I'm feeling good, feeling great. It's feeling good, to grace you guys with my presence.
Absolutely. Also, we have here Fresco Matic, wrestles for FSW as part of Light's Camera Faction, is the current BVW heavyweight champion, and is the host of the Fresco Show. How you doing, bro?
What's going on, everybody? It is the street sweeper, the fly, the baddest man alive. And yes, that's right. The Fresco Show host and creator is here to bless y'all with my presence. What's popping?
Absolutely. Appreciate that. And we also have Mr. Nick Holiday, the member of Culture Inc. He's appeared for Generation Championship Wrestling, Reality of Wrestling, and now he's here in Vegas. Welcome, Nick. How you doing?
Blessed to see another day. Good to be a part of this panel. Thanks for the invite.
No doubt. We appreciate all of you for showing up. All right, Simon Street, as usual, get us going.
All right, y'all. First and foremost, thank you so much for everything that you do inside and outside the ring. And
Hold on. I'm just have to cut you off for 1 second. First, I just have to say one thing. Fresco, don't ever outstage me ever again.
Oh,
that was ridiculous.
What you mean?
Like that was so over the top.
You set up the lob, so I had to dunk it. You see the logo on the hat. Come on now.
Dunk that right in my face, yo. That was just like,
come on now. Come on now. You should know this is championship vibes only. When we talking about it.
Anyway,
the noise. We talking Black history. We talking all that. We got to bring the noise.
That's right. That's what's up. Well, then let's go ahead and take that energy and let's keep it moving forward, right? So, without further ado, let's just get right into it. Question that goes to all 3 of y'all. If y'all want to go ahead and answer it, go ahead. The state of African Americans in professional wrestling, past, present, future. What are your thoughts? I'm going to go ahead and start off this question first with Holiday.
All right. To be honest, like I said last week, I'm gonna say that AEW, man, they did a pretty good, decent job of improving their stance on showcasing minorities and African American athletes. We all saw the beautiful debut of Keith Lee, and then he also faced another African American athlete in Isaiah Cassidy. And then, like I said, with the women's, they even took it a step further. Jade Cargill, TBS champion, they allowed her, I want to say she kind of had a say in the opponent that she faced. And then she brought in another African-American athlete from Texas who I've been down there working with in AQA. Mm-hmm. So going off of those 2 things they did last week, AEW's been taking a step up in showcasing African-American minorities on the show a lot more. I see they're even going to take it a step further in Orlando. They're bringing in some MCs. They're bringing in some musical guests. You got J.D. Williams from Wrestling Flow. They're bringing in Montezi from Swear City Podcast. They're going to give them a platform to showcase their music. And also the Black Celebration album that they also did throughout the month of Black History Month, where they got tracks for Scorpio Sky, Powerhouse Will Hobbs, Dante Martin, etc. So as far as the state of African-American representation, all elite wrestling, I would say that's drastically been improving.
That's what's up.
Cool.
Go ahead, Mr. Fresco. What you got to say about that?
Yeah, I feel like with the way the state of black wrestling, we're kind of approaching uncharted territories because there's so many of us now. There's so many of us now within the scene that's making pine, making noise to the point now where you can't really just go to a spot and just hope to, be there and like, oh yeah, yeah, for sure. Brother come in there and wrestle and stuff. Like now there's all types of elite talent all across the country that's really going for it. So now it's a matter of the fact that we have that I seen like list of just black wrestlers as for a top anything. The fact that there's enough to do that really shows kind of where we're at and what more there is to do. Like, Mod's gonna test like here in Vegas, like it's a crazy amount of just black talent that we have here in the city that's been making strides and is well rounded in all the areas of the game. So I think overall in the majors, presence is felt everywhere to an extent. Always room for growth. Definitely room for growth. Definitely things aren't, where they should be as far as the talent and where talent should rise up to. But I think having that kind of attitude and having that kind of mindset towards that goal is going to get us closer and closer to that point.
All right, Maz, what you have to say?
Man, actually, both these guys really they've drawn down the line for all of this. Especially, when I was younger, like I was watching Jacqueline, and Jacqueline wasn't being used the way like, women are being used now, used as icon, used as just small little break spots, here and there. And now it's like you see black women everywhere just killing it right now, just being able to like main event, like especially main event big promotions like WWE and all that. It's like it's so amazing to be like able to be in this like I don't know era right now of all this like black love like happening right now. It's been crazy. I just did FEW the other weekend in Florida with Malik, and Nick wasn't there. But yeah, he didn't want to show up.
I'm gonna be at the next one. Be at the next one. I was at the last one.
It was crazy because like we actually just being in a promotion full of just all black talent and like being able to like sit in a circle and just like talk about all our passion here for the love of wrestling and like how far we've come right now. It's been amazing, and I don't know, this journey has just been nonstop, and I just hope we just keep on breaking down barriers. Like Fresco said, right now there's so much good black talent right now in Vegas, and it's just time for them to shine.
So let me ask you, as being in the indies and knowing so many other talent in the indies as well, I'm sure that the ultimate goal is to hopefully make it to one of the promotions that we see on television. How difficult is it to get to that level? Everyone is striving and struggling to try to make it to that top, but it's only so much room there. It seems like. How difficult is it? And more importantly, how difficult it is for us as black people to get to there? We know we see others that sometimes quickly move a lot faster than we do, but being that you guys are right there in the industry, what's your thoughts on that?
Oh, I'm gonna just jump right on in there right now, because I'm still dealing with that shit today. So I literally just did AEW, and like, there's people that saying, oh, I should get signed there, which it would be great to go there. But then other people are like I'm not going to say who, but it's like, oh, they already have Kira Hogan there. And it's just like, okay, what does that have to do with me?
Right.
Like, there's no room for two black girls on there. Like, and then another one, I had I have a post of me flexing from a photo from AEW, and somebody had called me a Jade wannabe. And I don't know where the connection of me trying to be Jade just because I'm another Black female who's flexing with muscles. Like, it's
Right.
annoying. I've been compared to Kira Hogan multiple times, Red Velvet, and now it's Jade now, and it makes no sense because we're all different, and Sasha Banks especially. We're all different shades of color, and we all are different character. We all have different hair. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
So it's like it's making it seem like there's not enough room in certain places, because still certain people right now to this day are seeing that there's only enough room for this one certain Black person on
Right.
the roster. And I'm thought that we're like past that, but you
Mhm.
know, just these past couple weeks kind of still just re-sparked that for me. And sorry if I sound a little like heated about it. I'm just
You
like
should.
kind of
You
over
should,
it.
That's
though.
from
Like,
your
Nah, speak your truth.
Yeah,
Real
you
talk.
should though.
Yeah.
Let me
That's
ask you this question. My bad. Go ahead, Holiday.
No, you got it. My bad. You got it.
I was just gonna say, interesting enough how you say that, because the follow-up question, and we can still go back to the past question, but just think about it and then answer it later if you can. Do you feel that sometimes the way a lot of the major promotions are is they have a quota of how many, and even just across board, not even just with Black people on the roster, right? They feel like they're going to have a certain amount, right? And so they put you in a stereotypical box, and we say, okay, we already have 2 Black women or 3 Black women on this show. We can't have any more. Do you feel that they only look at us based on our skin color and not on our talent, and we just happen to be Black? You know what I'm saying?
I honestly would honestly be thinking that to the point, but that's why when you address the first question, the state of African Americans in the state of professional wrestling, I wanted to bring up AEW because that's one of the main ones that was under fire from the African American community based off of the comments from Tony Khan about Ariel Monroe and how reasons why he didn't want to renew her contract when it was really other stuff that Ariel was going on personally, where she didn't want to really work anymore. She really wanted to focus on being a mom at home. But stuff like that, I really don't think there is a quota, because like with the valid examples that I was giving to you in the first one, as far as them bringing in Keith Lee, and then you bring in an AQA who just got released from NXT, and then not only do you give her a match, but you sign her. You sign her and make her all elite also. And then like Mazzerati was saying, Mazzerati was on Dark and she had a match with Kira Hogan, who they just signed, I don't want to say too much prior before that as well. And then there's another African-American female athlete on the market too, in Athena, FKA Amber Moon. I'm pretty sure if they offer her a contract, she takes it, they're going to get her as well. So that right there, that's more than a typical number of like African-American athletes for one roster. So I wouldn't think that they have a necessary quota for it. If you have the talent for it, if you have the charisma for it, if you're reaching out to a certain demographic to bring in some more cash flow to the company, then I'm pretty sure they're not going to look at a quota. They're just going to look at if you can bring them money. And if you got a fanfare behind you that we can tap into as well, we'll just bring you in.
Let me ask you this. I'll let this be for Fresco. We haven't heard much from him yet. And I'll bank that off of what you were saying, Nick, from AEW. Now, yes, you know, you're beginning to see some movement with Black talent coming within AEW, but what are they doing to develop their Black talent into champions? That's what I'm really looking into right now. I mean,
that's
yes,
the question, yeah.
You know, I mean, it's great to see Jay Cargill right now as the TBS champion. That is great to see, but you know, they've been around now for a good 3 years. Where's Scorpio Sky? Why hasn't he been given a belt to something yet? Yes, we got Keith Lee. Jay Lethal's my favorite that's come in, but I mean, I don't know. We haven't mentioned much about WWE yet, but I've seen a lot more champions given over there, and we could talk about, by the way, if we like what we're seeing them being represented as over there or AEW, because that's a whole nother topic too. But just going back to my original question, does it matter though, Fresco, that yes, we see them, they are slowly getting to the, adding up over there, but what's the chances of them now moving up to become champions?
It's really just a matter of the field they're playing against and kind of the audience they're playing against. You look at what AEW has for a target audience, who's a demographic, who's in there, who's literally needle pushers, drawing numbers for their area. That comes into it too. There's a lot of top end talent on AEW who might have a claim and have valid claims to be contenders for championships. So I think it's just a matter. It's probably more in the heavyweight scene, at least, more of an even playing field than looked upon. We just want to see more of those talents there to get that chance. But you kind of look at what's happened with Cody Rhodes earlier this week. Who would have thought he would have split the other way potentially? So it's kind of like free market games, like NBA in a whole lot of ways. I think it's there for the taking for a black wrestler to be the first AEW world champion. I think honestly, you got to get through that door. And the question earlier from Simon, how hard is it to kind of break through? Wrestling is crowded right now. There's less jobs. There's more wrestlers on the scene with all big ambitions, all got plans, all got things going on. Everyone's trying to find a way to get to the top. Mm-hmm. Everyone's got their own one piece to look for. So it's really what it really comes down to is who's got the right plan, who's got the best well-rounded arsenal, and who gets in at the right time.
Coaching.
Huh?
Coaching.
Coach Rink has done a great job.
Yeah.
But you can't talk about great job and great teams without the greatest movie you ever seen.
Oh my God.
Lights, Camera, Faction. Here we go. Of course. But that's not here or there. It's just a matter of timing. Timing is everything, and opportunity is everything too. I feel like with AEW, a lot of people who are deserving are getting opportunities. I just think really if they can focus a little bit more on little details, I think we'll be fine. And I think as a competitor and as an athlete and as a wrestler, that's all you can really ask for is a fair shot. As a fair shot, as far as the rest of these companies go, it's there for the taking. But it's a vast field. So, the smartest gets the wheel, I think, in the game. The guy or girl puts in the most work and has got the right plan will eventually find their way to the top.
Let me ask you this question then. So that's a sound plan, and that's the way it should be. It should be based off of the person's work ethic, their professionalism, and being able to buy their time and wait for that opportunity. Now, with regards to a lot of major promotions, all right, in the past, now things have gotten a little bit better. Do you feel that when it comes down to, when regards to creative, particularly with WWE, creative and writing, do you feel that we need to start as Black people representing behind the camera more in creative, in writing, particularly too with regards to Black women? Because I know WWE, just my opinion, I feel sometimes they are a little out of touch unless they have somebody that's willing to, be a little bit, can relate a little bit. You know what I mean? In the past. Now, do you feel like there are strides to where, people are like, hey, you know what? Maybe you being in the ring may not be the thing. However, you could lend your talents toward propelling us forward and for yourself with writing.
I feel you're right. I feel you're right. Because, in that aspect, they literally should have Alicia Fox back there speaking for, African-American women and some of the audience in the community as far as like WWE. They need to have Alicia Fox back there. Why can't they have Jackie Moore back there? Those two sisters that blazed the trail for Sasha Banks and for Bianca Belair and for Amber Moon when she was in there. They should be back there as far as with the creative and like putting them on game on how to showcase and display African American athletes.
But Maz, are you finding the characters that they're playing? It could be from any. I know we're talking about WWE. We can stick there. We can go to another company if you want. But are you finding the roles, the characters that the Black women are playing, that they are, some positive role, or do you see the same old kind of, not necessarily making us look good in front of the camera?
Okay. So I didn't want to cut you off because you were already cutting in and out. So I was kind of trying to put them together in pieces.
You kind of got it what I was
Can
saying?
you repeat that one more time?
Okay. No, not a problem. Not a problem. So with the women that you see on wrestling now, Black women that you see, do you find that the characters that they have, that it is a positive presentation that we have on camera with them, or do you see it to be something else?
I think it's better now. Definitely. If you look at some of the roles from back in the day, like if you got Shaniqua's role, that was kind of
right.
That was cringe, bro. That was cringe.
Yeah. And it's unfortunate because she's really athletic and all that stuff. And I don't know, I feel like they could have used her in a different way. And maybe, it would have been better for her and, but better look in general. I feel like it is a little bit better. You also had, Brother Devon, you know what I mean? You have all these like animated characters and stuff. I think back then was a little bit more a little less filtered back then. I grew up in an era like where we were really unfiltered. Obviously you guys did too. I feel like we're all around up there, but
Yeah.
And don't forget Orlando Jordan either. Don't forget him. The way they was doing him. I said, don't forget how they did Orlando Jordan.
Yeah.
With Chris Benoit and that little 5-second match he had going on for like a month where he would make tap out within like 30 seconds. He was a whole United States
one of my
champion.
favorite wrestlers growing up, Orlando Jordan. I was like, I used to watch Velocity. Like, hey, let me catch OJ.
Yeah, him and Shelton, man.
I lived vicariously through Orlando Jordan during his little rookie run on SmackDown, and so when he won the U.S. title, I was super excited.
Him getting the respect from Undertaker and all that.
Yeah. He got the same rub Cena guy. I'm like, he's gonna get the rub. I was excited for his future.
Yeah.
So you had said, go ahead, Impact. Go ahead.
Go ahead, because I was just going to throw something in.
So we probably thinking the same thing. So you said Shelton Benjamin. All right, we did this panel. What, this will be the third time? Fourth time? This is the fourth time. And Shelton Benjamin's name popped up for all intensive purposes. Good reason. What is y'all take on why Shelton Benjamin never got the push he deserved? Like that's a question I love asking people, because for me, if you ask me, Shelton Benjamin, for me, had everything. The only thing that he was a little not top notch on was what was his mouthpiece. But other than that,
I was thinking the same thing.
Other than that, he was highlight reel galore, right? He had everything.
He could dance in circles around a lot of them that actually had pushes, and it's beyond me, which it's crazy, to be honest. I'm not gonna lie.
So his decline, it wasn't really his fault. It was like you said, it goes back to that creator. His rise was in 2004, and then he went all the way. Like he got even further in 2005. But he beat Jericho 1-on-1 for the Intercontinental title, and then he was the highlight of the first ever Money in the Bank. We all know that. He took RVD to limit his 1-on-1 matches. Carlito, he beat Triple H 3 times. We know this. It was in 2006, man, where they fell off. They put him back with Charlie Haas because they didn't have nothing else to do with him after the mama thing, when they paid that actor lady to come be his mama for that storyline. And after that, and he beat Ric Flair, like, I want to say once or twice during that time. And then he was doing some work with Shawn Michaels. We all know that one match he had with Shawn in 05 and that finished with the springboard and got him with the Sweet Chain Music. We still talk about that to this day. But it was in 06, man. It wasn't his fault when the actor, they were paying to pay his mom, she ended up leaving or whatever, and they're like, "Oh, what are we gonna do? Let's put him back with Charlie Haas. Let's put the world's greatest tag team back together, and then not give them the titles, have them lose to the Hardys, and then Charlie Haas gets hurt, and then they didn't know what to do with him after that. And then, like I said, he took it upon himself to reestablish his character and with the gold standard and all that stuff, and then he was United States champion again. But then I think at that time is where he kind of lost his love for it. And then shortly after, he didn't want to renew his contract.
I mean, I think Shelton, there could have been a window for him to possibly have a world title run. I don't know if it would have been a significant one. I just felt like if they wanted to package him as a world champion, they would have.
They would have.
You know, if they were going to package him as a world champion, they would have found a way to overcome what they thought he needed, which was mic work. They would have found a mouthpiece if they really wanted that. But I just think with those guys, I think they're most comfortable when their main guy can do everything. And there's no glaring weakness. Like, you may not be super strong at a category, but it's not noticeably at that front. Best way I could probably describe it, but there's been a litany of guys who should have been world champion, could have had a run. Shelton's run, I think, though, it didn't need it because it still cemented his legacy to this day that we talked about. Holiday just pointed out a lot of his career. A lot of belts were won during that run. And I think as a wrestler, the most thing you value of all, besides your health, is, the legacy you left behind. And Sheldon, I'm sure, will look at it now like, yeah, like, it don't matter what I'm doing now. Like I did that, and I paved the way now for guys to, like the Big E's, like the Lashleys, to actually, bust through, and Lashley's a legit, number 1A 2 guy in the biggest company in the world, so and his journey has been insane. So I just think I think with Sheldon, I think his legacy writes for itself, and we needed a Shelton Benjamin to get the stuff we're getting now.
And then before Maz comes on, this is one thing. He's also a person that's not. He was just kind of guilty of circumstances a little bit. Keep in mind the class that he came up with. He came up in that OVW 2002 class where John Cena broke out, Randy Orton broke out, Batista broke out, Brock Lesnar broke out. And they pushed all 4 of those guys somewhat in those years where Shelton was in his prime. So you can't push 5 people. You know what I'm saying? It's just the class that he came with. There was a lot of other talented individuals as well. And we see how Cena ended up. We see how Brock Lesnar ended up. We see how Batista ended up. We see how Randy Orton ended up. And then Shelton was just like, he didn't choose the class he wanted to be in, but fortunately his class had other big talents as well.
Yeah, that happens sometimes. Eras will have so much talent in one era that someone gets short end of the stick. You know what I'm saying? Someone like we always talk about, like, Piper never being a world champion, but he was a household name for decades and doing everything, just victim of circumstances as far as what was needed at the top, what was needed as the draw,
Okay, no doubt.
What about you, Maz?
Yeah, y'all kind of pretty much y'all really much said it. Like, I can't really say what else is said.
Oh, let me ask you this, and I'll start with you, Maz, on this. So, within the last 3 years, we have seen quite a few black champions just across the board. Moose, Impact. You've seen Rich Swann. He's been Impact, and this has all been made within 3 years. Of course, you've seen Kofi, you've seen Big E. We got Carmelo right now, doing his thing. Bobby Lashley, of course, doing his thing. Jade, Sasha. I mean, we can just Bianca. Within the last 3 years, we've seen a lot of champions from us. Now, could one look at that and say that, because wrestling has been going on for quite a long time. If we want to start from where, kind of where WWE sort of kind of picked up in the early 80s all the way to now, there really hasn't been a lot of champions up to the past 3 years. Do we now say that we're making progress, or are we still kind of not where we should be? What would be your take on that? I mean, we've seen some success. Is it good enough?
I feel like we could. I feel like we'd always like take it up another notch. Definitely. There's never no stopping. Right now it's just the time where everybody's just blooming and finally being able to get that shine in. Whereas back then, people were just like not letting other people shine, especially due to color and stuff like that. And right now, you can't do that, especially how talented all these people are. You cannot hide that. It doesn't matter what color they are. And I just think it's amazing that all these people that have been working so hard are finally just able to just break history. And right now, it's just, I'm emotional. I'm like, dude, this is amazing. Like, talking about Bianca, like, watching her has just been like the way that she is with their family, the things that she does for her daughter, the things that she does for her family, like making their own like clothes and gear, and just really doing this for the love of wrestling and for the love, just for the love. Like, it's just insane. Like, I just love it. And I don't know, I want to be able to be one of those that are breaking down barriers just like her and the rest of them. We can't stop. We can keep going and going.
Yeah. Nick, we're marketable, right? I mean, I mean, there was at some point they didn't think that we were really that marketable, leading up to where we're at now. I mean, where did that idea come from? I mean,
it came from The Rock, essentially, bro. Let's keep it 100. It came from The Rock. Ron Simmons was the first African American champion, and then The Rock, I want to say, was essentially the second. And he was just charismatic. He broke the door. He made us marketable on SNL. And then he's on his movies. He's on the cover of video games. He's on commercials. He's on cameos. He's on intros for Super Bowl.
Yep.
And then, like I said, then Booker T, when he got the title next, he was as charismatic as them too. He was on all these commercials and being marketable as well. So yeah, it all started from when Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson got the ball in '98 and ran with it, and he opened up, he kicked the door open for the rest of us African Americans to follow his way.
Yeah. Fresco, I mean, we have to be overachievers, man. Is that what we have to be seen? I mean, some could say that others do mediocre work and they seem to go right to the top. But with us, we seem like we got to go a little bit extra hard. What's your take on that?
Look who's on the panel with you right now. You got probably 3 people who know hustle more than anyone else. Like Holiday, always on the road in the air. Yep. Ma's got 37 jobs and she's booked every weekend.
Yes.
I have my own platform and show, and I'm always in the negative zone, faction, singles, all that, you know, and we're just trying to get ours. Just trying to get ours, and we'll see cats, get over with less, So it's always been that way, but it's always been that way for just us, period. I think everyone here on the panel knows that. I just think it comes with the territory, but luckily with who we are and what we do, we just got natural juice. So like whenever we need a replenishment, it's just gonna naturally get there. So we'll never run out of ideas when it comes to creating and doing stuff in this type, because wrestling is perfect for Black folks, because all we do is just create and vibe off the current situation, and it lasts, and it create a lasting legacy. All of us can and have done that already.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really made for us, and now that they're actually giving us a chance to like show what we can do, now we're gonna snatch that thing. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like now things can always be better, but now we have an opportunity to actually like take it with time and with speaking up on things. But I think now, like you just said, seen a whole lot of Black champions in the last 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
You know, before that was a big drought. Now it's almost commonplace to see at least some Black main eventer somewhere in the major. So we just got to keep it up.
Like you said with that, man, like we have the potential to have a Black champion on every major promotion. Bobby Lashley, WWE, Moose, Impact. I guess I want to say Jonathan Gresham the Ring of Honor World Champion.
Right. Yep.
If I'm not
You're
mistaken.
Yep.
And then with Keith Lee getting picked up by AEW,
Only matter of time.
The way that's looking, it's only a matter of time. We can have an African American as the major championship holder for every major promotion. You know what I'm saying? So it's exciting times.
You know what? Then let me pose this question, because we talked about it on the other panels. Maybe the next level for us is to go ahead and have our own. And I mean that as our own promotion. To where we make sure that we put ourselves first. Yeah, we're going to open the door for everybody because we want to stay in business. But I'm saying to where we looking at all aspects behind the camera, in creative. We looking at making sure that, okay, look, we kicked the door open. You gave us a crack. We kicked the door open. We made the best of our opportunities. Now we're going to create our own. So that way we can make sure we're not just going to be a trend. We're going to make sure that we're not just what you profit on right now. I said it last night. You gave us scraps on the table when we went and made a gumbo. Now you want to eat out my pot. Why don't we just go ahead and just make our own? I'm just being real. I'm putting the question out there. What do y'all think about something like that? Do you think that's something that, 10 years in the future, even less than that, if we can, to where we're really starting to look at everything from our finances. We're starting to look at aligning our goals, building up networks. Do you see what I'm saying? Talking to people right now who are Black people who own promotions right now and working together. Because right now, all eyes on us. Am I not lying?
No.
So that might be the next step. What y'all think?
After doing the FEW show the other weekend and just literally just having a good time and with the creative, we go back to the locker room from everybody, like all the wrestlers front to back, like everybody was Black. And that honestly, so because I grew up in a Hispanic and white dominated area growing up, so it just felt pretty cool. Like, I don't know, it just felt awesome, just the vibe of it and the energy. We weren't even on our phones, like we just talking about the show, talking about what we could do like to make it better next time, and like just cool things just to make things better for us in general. And like I could see it. I could definitely see like these promotions for all Black people, like in general, for front end and the back of scenes. I think it's amazing. We could definitely like push barriers down.
I think having that happen would be very, very interesting to have. Just considering who would need to back it. I think for it to be successful, we would need to have some capital, world champions under some heavy names like your boy Booker T.
Hey.
We'll have to, I think back that, like, have to be for, the reasons would need to be there. And I think they would need to have a very good deal, kind of laid on the table for them at some point to have for a TV, and then boom, because we saw AEW how it kind of came out of nowhere.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. So, I feel like if the powers that be were to make it happen, it could happen, and it would forever change the industry. It'll be a matter of just when. It would just be what would be the final straw that breaks the camel's back. But okay, this has to happen. We can't leave it to these writers to do it to do our people, justice. If it ever comes to that, like how will we do it? And that this you can use this argument literally for like everything when it comes to like industries and like taking things back and Black-owned businesses and really giving back to ourselves. And it's always the big black question is can we do it? Can we make it happen? And can we put all the stuff aside and make business? We've shown that we can. So that would have to happen. But I think for it to take place, it would need to be it would have to be like a fed up point. So we're seeing bits now. We're seeing companies, Black-owned companies now pop up in the independents, and that's where it starts.
Yeah, like you said, like Maz was saying, it all starts with some promotions taking a stand and taking an initiative like FEW, like JB Cool, and saying he started his last year with Say It Loud, making it an all Black everything promotion show. So everything on the card, everybody in each match was of African American minority. So, and then this past one, I missed it because stuff going on out here. But they brought in DJs, they brought in Faye Jackson. So it's other elements besides wrestling. You make it a whole festival, like a whole weekend festivity. So you have the pool party, you have the DJ doing music, playing all music from our culture. You know what I'm saying? And then you got all the African Americans. Wrestlers in there taking part, as like Malik Bo City went up against Snoop, and then you got the legends from the past like Tuco Scorpio coming in there, still showing us he can do everything a 20-year-old can do at the age of 50 with the moonsaws and the front flips and all that stuff. So, but like Fresco said, it's gonna start with a Black promoter taking the initiative to start a Black promotion. Booker T's a good name because I want to say he was one of the first ones to start his own wrestling promotion of African-American descent. You know what I'm saying? So he was one of the first African-American promoters out there. And then, like you said, you follow suit, you got JB. Another guy that I'm pretty sure is pretty good with some kind of capital, hopefully he sees, is maybe the Pope, Elijah Burke. You know what I'm saying? NWA. You know what I'm saying? And then you got your other charities, you got your other lines of business. He could very well be in line to start his own all-Black promotion. So it's looking really bright though. It's looking really bright because as you can see, a Bianca Belair can make a company tons of money. Sasha Banks can make a company tons of money. A Jade Cargill can make a company tons of money. A Mazzerati can make a company tons of money. You know what I'm saying? All African American factions like Lights Camera Faction, Culture Inc., Shane Taylor Promotions, Hit Row can make your company tons of money. So you have the foundation, you have the building blocks to build your own all-Black promotion. It's just a matter of who's going to step up and take it.
Well, I mean, look at the New Day, right? I mean, how much money did they bring in as a group to that company?
Tons enough to where they deserve some more respect from Vince to like keep the name New Day. Don't just come out here and just be like, oh, it's Kofi Kingston and Big E. Like, no, you keep the name the New Day. You keep that stable. You keep that name. All that hard work they done put in the last 7 years to build that name, you keep it. You keep putting some more respect on it. Don't just toss it in the trash.
Well,
can you imagine those merch checks, man?
Bootios.
Cut
really?
the check.
The amount of money they made off of Bootios.
Dude, right.
That was
Man,
money.
come on, man. They came out in Super Saiyan gear. They living their best life, man. Ooh.
Yeah,
They was making more in their merch sales than Roman was.
Hell yeah, they were.
By far.
Hell yeah, they were.
Roman was looking at what they was bringing in as a goal.
sometimes it's crazy. You can go to a random place.
They knew how to market themselves so well and
part.
sold the merch, the bootios that had shirts in them, and it made you want the actual cereal before they even like actually thought of making that a thing. You know, it's crazy because I'm like, well, I want the real bootio cereal, and it's like there's no such thing, but they sold you on it because that's how fucking good they are. Like,
And then
they created that for you.
Yeah. I need to try some
and then
videos.
pancake power, all that stuff.
That too.
Yeah, making pancakes.
You know what? Let me bring up that question since we talking about the New Day. All right. New Day, we obviously know success. So I'm not even gonna go into that. You see what happened with Kofi, right? What it took him what? How many seconds for Brock Lesnar to take that strap off of him?
13.
Was it 13? All right, 13. Big E, same dude. All right. We've seen the pattern of how WWE is. When Brock Lesnar come in, you know somebody gonna lose the strap. Now that could be coincidence, or that could be, you know, well, I'm sorry, it was either Big E or Roman, and it wasn't gonna be Roman, so it was gonna be you, Big E, right? I worry sometimes, and this is just my perspective, right? Watching the product, I get worried sometimes that right now you a trend, I'm gonna make money off of you, all right? But when it's all said and done, and I feel as though there's other options, and you no longer an option, I'm gonna go ahead and just slowly let you fade away, or I'm gonna just bury you. Now, some of that is part of the business in general, all right? That it happens. But I'm saying, like, with the New Day, and I like how you brought that up, Holiday, with Vince McMahon kind of telling Kofi and Biggie, you know, trying to build that up, talking about you know, Kofi, so that's how we're going to introduce you, and Biggie, right? I feel like he didn't understand, and it goes to not being relating, you know, to what that meant. Every time New Day came in, they were talking about my brothers, everything we built with my brothers, that brotherhood. There was another spot I'm going to tell you, and correct me if I'm wrong, it was where it was a Royal Rumble. I think it was the year before last, and I think it was Naomi and Bianca that was about to go off the ropes, right? And they were both, everybody was trying to do Shawn Michaels that year. And both of them looked at each other and both rose up together to get back in the ring. Nobody caught that. Impact, I was with you. I was telling you about that. I said, nobody caught that. I want to know who wrote that, or if they just decided to do that on their own. Because it's those moments like that to me is Black excellence. That's inspiration. Do you see what I'm saying? We wasn't like that right there. We wasn't no crab mentality. We both trying to come up. That's the way I looked at it. Two sisters trying to keep each other up. The amount of love that was shown between Sasha Banks and Bianca on WrestleMania. You see what I'm saying? That the mutual, even though they did what they had to do, that to me, that's why I get so passionate on, like, look, if I win mega bucks or whatever, I come into my success and money and capital, I'm trying to have some conversations with some people to try and get something started, because those type of moments like that raise us up as a culture overall. Plain and simple.
I totally agree with you on that. Now I'm trying not to like miss my thought. Because there was a moment with Bianca and Naomi, right? I think it was was it for the Royal Rumble? And it was a part where, you know, they had their hair spot too, right?
Yeah.
Do you guys remember that?
Yeah,
I do.
So every time when they I noticed the storytelling, me and Strella were both watching this. It got emotional because the whole time at first it's like they didn't want to fight, but they had to because, like, you know, everybody's fighting for one thing here. And then it's like, but then they wanted to actually team up, and it shows like, oh, you know, we should be cool. But then every time when that was about to happen, a ruffle would happen around, and like everybody, you know, would start tussling, and then it would break them apart, and then it gets them back into fighting. And I'm just like, man, the storytelling of it was like that was missed a lot, was how you got to just like work together type thing, but not get distracted by everything that is around, and to love each other as like a family of sisters and stuff. And it was a lot of like people that didn't catch that, but me and her caught that. We're just like, man, that is crazy. Like the things that they be doing to like really show the storytelling of the love and like just things like that. I'm just like, man, that was really smart. Like,
Yeah.
you don't catch that thing. Like, it's crazy.
But let me ask you this, let me go back to something that Simon said, and I wanted to get you guys' thoughts on this. Okay, so yes, Kofi's your champion. That was the most exciting moment, I think, in many of our lives. I was at Mania when it happened, and I was trying to pretend like you know, I'm not shedding a tear. All right, so I just pretend like I'm not.
He was crying.
Yeah,
like the rest of us.
Yeah.
I had a tear.
Okay, because that was an exciting moment, and during his run. But then when it came for him to lose it, the way he lost it, okay, the title to Brock and how fast that was. Then, you have the same thing now. Yes, the same thing happened with Big E as well, and with the same person and as quick. But we also had Bianca, someone who you're building up as your strongest, your biggest, your toughest rising star, lose just as quick when you have Becky makes her return at SummerSlam. So the question I'm just asking, when it's time for us to give up that title, what's the deal with us the way we lose it? Why does it can't be a 5-star match between the matches we're going to have? Why does it have to be just a quick oop and the next person get the title? Am I overlooking that, or am I right?
No, you're not overlooking it. You see why it only happens in WWE. Now, unless your name is The Rock or your name is Booker T, you're not going to have no 5-star exit as world champion. Vince does that on purpose for shock value, and he knows he's going to get heat, and then it's a victim of circumstances again. Kofi, they had just started that new thing with Fox deal, and then going into Fox, they couldn't have Kofi be the champion because he's not box office like a Brock Lesnar. So, right. But the way he lost it was controversial. We all know that, but Vince knows what the hell he's doing. He set that up on purpose to get more heat on Brock. I mean, especially even if it's just the black community, there's a lot of heat on Brock. You know what I'm saying? Heat is heat. You don't even look at color. So it was the whole Fox thing, but then the way he went out was wrong. And then the Big E thing is different because what if Roman didn't catch COVID? If Roman didn't catch COVID, Big E could very well still be the champ. You know what I'm saying? Just another.
Well, the same thing for Bianca, right? She was supposed to fight Sasha.
Shock value with Becky. He wanted Becky to come back as a heel. He knew what he was doing. What better way to get heat on Becky than have him squash Bianca Belair? Even if it's all the black community giving her heat, it's heat nonetheless. So that's exactly what that was. But he knew Becky was coming back. He wanted her to be a heel. He already established Bianca as a top heel. It's wrong because Bianca didn't get a rematch. Kofi didn't get a rematch. Big E didn't get a rematch. But if it says Rollins, he's getting multiple rematches. If it's Randy Orton, he's getting multiple rematches. If it's a Brock Lesnar, he's getting multiple rematches. So
it seems like we still have some more work to do then, because we should be up at that level as well.
In
WWE,
that's pretty much what it means.
In WWE, we do.
Yeah. It's cool that you said that, Holiday, because that's my only gripe about it. Because I'm with you 100%, and I've talked about it with Impact and the rest of the Bad Boys. Like, I understand, because shock value is money. All right, you're gonna piss off everybody. That's why when you go in someone's hometown, you make sure most times they lose if you can, so that way you get heat, right? But the whole not getting your rematch, that shit bothers the shit out of me. Even if you was gonna have it to where they had a shred of a chance and then they don't get it, at least you gave them a chance and that's done. We can close that chapter. We got so many unopened chapters that irritates the shit out of me. That's just my personal opinion about that.
Yeah, it's just gonna be because if you look at Impact, they gave Rich Swann a 5-star match with Kenny Omega. Like it's just in WWE, bro. It's just Vince. Like when he does, like you said, when he makes them all the money and squeezes an African American athlete for all the juicy. Because when Kofi was champion, he had the Netflix movie, he had the posters, he had the titles. You know what I'm saying? He beat Samoa Joe, I think twice, Dolph twice. He beat somebody else once or twice too. I think he beat Seth Rollins in like a one-on-one match. But after he squeezes all the juice out of you, it's a victim of circumstance. If Brock Lesnar's available, I got to give it to my.
But he didn't squeeze nothing out of Big E because Big E won and he took a losing streak all the way down to the point that he lost the belt. I don't know what type of championship run that was, but
it was because the way. But you knew they didn't care about the championship run the way he wanted. the Money in the Bank, they announced it on damn Twitter. Like Bobby Lashley shouldn't have lost the damn match if you know the dude's gonna cash it out on you. So you have a regular match, now all of a sudden you limping afterwards. The fact that they didn't put no thought and effort into giving him a creative way of winning the title, you should have known the championship reign wasn't gonna be no better. They weren't gonna put no effort in that either.
So what do you think? So what do you think about the idea? Some say, oh, we'll look at that and go, okay, well, at least WWE is throwing titles at them. Again, we flip it back over to AEW. Where are their titles? Why is it taking so long to even get a title? Even if you're gonna take it right off of them really quick, where's the titles?
I mean, well, I think with AEW, there's far less titles to throw around. You really have 2 singles belts for men.
All right, well, we'll take the AEW one. Oh, you hit the mute button by accident. There you
go. I think by virtue, you don't want a hot potato titles around. So I think eventually a Black Star will rightfully become AEW World Champion. As far as the WWE Championship and the quick title reign, this is what we just alluded to earlier. There's still work to do as far as getting there. We're getting to the point where we're starting to get these accolades where there's 6, 7 now known world Black champions, and 7 Black women's champions we got right now in history. But that's it. Think of all the Black wrestlers and Black women's wrestlers that have been around for years, from the Sheiks and all that stuff like that, from the 30s and 40s that never got a shot at the thing. So, it's hard lessons learned, but now the Black kids who are going to be future wrestlers, they saw that moment and said, damn, like that can't be me. That can't be me if I get that same opportunity, and it won't be me because it is, and it's just we hope, because I feel like with our generation of wrestlers, we had to learn a lot, learn a lot, the good and the bad, take out the bad from our previous generation of wrestlers, that we learned from. And so that way, so now the people behind us are learning from us, and they're taking our habits and everything as well. So it just circles back to that. And I think really for sustained dominant world title runs for Black wrestlers, Moose is doing a good job. But
very good job.
Moose is doing a good job. He's been very, very strong and Impact for years. I feel he was interesting without a title, which is it's hard because
not a real title.
Not
a real title.
Yeah. And then he brought one, but he brought his own. He did that gimmick for a minute, and I think him that was an authentic build for a mega main eventer, and Rich Swann was such a great underdog that it always made his stories more interesting. So I think with WWE, they'll get there. It's steps, man. One step at a time.
Well, this step they take on Bobby Lashley is a good start for me.
Two-time champ already. Who knows what happens after this weekend? But you can't take it away from him that he's got that, and it means to me that they're comfortable with him being one of their top 3 guys. Mm-hmm. He essentially took Drew's spot.
Basically.
Thanks to MVP.
Drew's in MVP.
Yeah, I was just about to say that.
Drew's in Corbin hell right now. Feuding with Corbin for the last 6 months. And Bobby's the firm number 2 guy, because I think it's Brock's number 0. Then there's 1 Roman. Then it's Lashley, I think. But yeah, that's the hope right now for your dominant world title run. Lashley's first one was pretty damn good.
Sure was.
For him to go into his 2nd straight WrestleMania as a potential WWE champion for WWE, this is a lot. This is a lot.
Yep.
Holidays
something. We'll see if he drops it or not. Oh no, man. Oh no. Brock might do the 3rd. He might he might be the third black man for a world, fourth black man for a world title.
Vince gonna do him dirty. Vince gonna go
eventually. We know it's gonna happen.
Black History Month.
He's gonna do the
They're gonna do it.
Because if Vince,
he's gonna pin Bobby too. Why?
If Vince wasn't gonna do this, because why have Brock win the Royal Rumble only to put him in an Elimination Chamber match? Why would you do that? You could have get that Rumble win to Big E. From my perspective, I feel like Big E should have won. Mm-hmm. But you know you're going to Mania to do the title for title because now you got Roman gonna win against Goldberg. You got Lesnar win this Elimination Chamber. Mania is title for title, and then like that's what Vince wants. It's stupid, but it's not gonna stop everybody from buying a ticket to go watch it. So it is what it is.
Shit, I already bought my damn ticket, so ain't nothing I can do. But I'm already locked in. Shit.
Yeah.
But you know what's interesting, and just real quick, you talked about MVP. Now that's somebody that I don't have substantiated evidence, but I've heard many of people say that he does have more of a role than what we obviously see on TV. Do we need more people like MVP? Now, before y'all get into that, I knew from day one in WWE that if you put MVP with Bobby Lashley, it was going to be a hit. Because I remember back in TNA was MVP, Bobby Lashley, Kenny King, and they had their faction, and that was fire. That was fire. Even to the point to where I was bugging the shit out of Impact. I was like, man, Kenny King finna come to WWE. That'd be some cool ass shit. He was like, man, shut the fuck up, bro. I was just like, because man, I was ready. I'm still ready, real talk. But I'm saying like for me, because that whole faction they had was fire. Now you had an iteration of that, which we talked about in other panels. What are y'all thoughts on the Hurt Business? Should they have been dissolved? Was that the right move? Because I felt like they was on fire and they weren't letting off the gas.
I want to let Maz start off.
To be honest, I felt like that was the biggest mistake to just like let them dissolve. Like that's hot fire. Like shoot, like I don't know, like just the whole thing. To be honest, I can't really explain it, but you don't really have a faction like that to represent like what we're trying to get going right now, which I think it's an amazing representation, you know what I mean? And for the fact that, cut short, like it's like sorry, my dog is just like keeps interrupting me right now.
That's all good.
My dog do
it's
it
like
too.
being so needy.
Your dog was looking at you, Fresco, like you know what time it is, right?
Oh yeah, no, she's trying to play me. She already went out. No. Yeah.
Do y'all feel like all right? So with that faction per se, right?
Oh, I'm sorry, the Hurt Business. Oh, yeah, the Hurt Business. Yeah. So the Hurt Business. How long were they together for? Like 4 months. I felt like
I won't say like 5
they
months.
weren't even the full fact.
Pretty short.
Here's my thing with factions. If you're gonna put them together, you gotta keep them together. You know what I'm saying? At least for a bit. That was not a bit at all. The
build was just
short.
Like
they got their moment, and they just said, "Okay, all right, let's go ahead and do it." It's one of those what ifs. I feel like if it was a different era, it would have lasted years. And just kind of seeing what Shelton and Cedric are doing, from then on, just sad. But I feel like when it comes to what's going on over there, you kind of just got to just take the good with the bad and see like, okay, we got that. We, got that moment, got those moments, but we know we could have got more.
Yeah, it was one of them short-lived factions that they kind of lost faith in too early. They had a trend of doing this before they did it to the Hurt Business. They eventually did it to Retribution. We saw that worked out. And then they did it with, like, the United Nations. I think that was another faction before that.
Yeah.
with Sheamus and all them boys that gave up on that thing too. What it came down to was they were so short-sighted. They saw Bobby Lashley kind of the way Triple H was presented in 2002 through 05, and the MVP just being the Ric Flair. But then with Randy Orton and Batista, they didn't see that in Shelton and Cedric. So they just started to blow it up and just give it to Bobby as a WWE champion and have MVP as the sole guy as his backup. You know,
cleaner package to probably put out. That's probably what they looked at it like we don't really need these guys winging around the package of just
the Almighty.
Clean MVP, clean Lashley with the strap, aesthetic,
And then as big as Bobby was being presented, if you keep calling him the Almighty Lashley, if he's so almighty, why does he need these two other guys with him? So that's how they looked at it to the like creative wise. They lost faith in it. They kind of boxed themselves in the hole with the way they were having Bobby to just like beat everybody, and the way he won the title was kind of iffy. But I mean, he won it, so it is what it is. But that's all it was. With the name Almighty, they kind of boxed themselves in the hole where if you're so almighty, why do you need these two guys with you?
Yeah. Well, let me ask you all as we getting close now, just to sum it all up. What would you like to see? Just going forward. I mean, we're seeing that we're making progress, and that's good. But ultimately, if you was king for the day, what would you like to see come out of professional wrestling, and most importantly, with us being a part of this pro wrestling journey? And I'll start with you, Holiday, man. What's your take?
As far like we spoke on it earlier, if we can have a time in wrestling, we have 4 African American athletes as the company's top champion in WWE, AEW, Impact, and Ring of Honor. Hopefully, when they come back, but then it doesn't have to be guys. It can be for the women. If you can have all 4 top titles for the women in AEW, be African American, that'll be a good step in the right direction for minorities in the state of professional wrestling. But that, and then if we can get like that, like you said, an all-black promotion, a weekly all-black promotion owned by a black promoter, showcasing nothing but black athletes that are really getting enough shine. Some athletes in Kansas City or Dakota or out here in Vegas that ain't getting no love, you know what I'm saying? If we can get a promotion to showcase some of these athletes, somewhat of what they're doing in the Northeast, they call it the Wrestling Open, ran by this guy named Drew. He just does his weekly wrestling show on every Thursday. He brings in a lot of local cast and give them a stage to work on and in front of a live crowd and do some stuff. And they broadcast on independent wrestling TV. If we can get something like that out here on the West Coast and make it like an all-black thing with like an all-black commentary team, and then we got an all-black every week. We have a black musical guest locally. Don't really have to be too nationally known, but that'll be a good step in the right direction for the state of African Americans athletes in professional wrestling.
Yeah, that'd be great if someone can decide to take that up and make that move. It's interesting because we kind of know what needs to be done and what should be done. Just that sometimes it seems like no one's ready to pick up the ball and say, I'll be the one. And apparently there's one over in the Northeast, I think you said. But we need someone, another to do the same thing. Yeah. Well, how about you, Fresco, man? What would you like to see, man, just going forward?
I really feel like, it should be to a point where 50% of the roster black. You know what I'm saying? It's to the point where it's common.
Yeah.
It's common. It's not even looked at different more because we're just here. It's ours.
Right.
We're in it. I would want to see that, but more than but more than that, I would want to see the crop of black talent we got now. You know, I think it's there to take it. I think it's there to take it with our generation, and I think it's, you know, being that turning point. I was like, okay, now we gotta stop. We're fucking with all of them now. We can't just ignore it. We can't ignore them. Too much sauce, too much juice, too marketable. And once they have that in your hands, that's when the industry is going to change.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm at on that. I feel like we're at that point now where, you know, we're at the tipping point where we're ready to just really change the shit in our image a bit. You know what I'm saying? It's there for the taking.
Yeah.
And, it's grab it and take it.
Mazzerati, you're going to be queen for the day. How are we going to change?
She queen every day.
Shoot, to be honest, I just want more equality. Like, just everybody just be training equal instead of just like, I don't know. I'm just tired of just the comparisons of one black person and another black person.
Right.
That's just like, we don't do that with the other, like, people of different colors. So it's like, you know, I'm kind of over that. I just want to be like, hey, you know, that's a little blah, blah, blah. That's cool. Like, and you could compare me like what you, like, you know, like if you want to, you know, tell me how you feel about how I wrestle. Don't just like look at me and be like, you remind me of the so-and-so because of my skin color. And I'm completely the opposite of this person. So that's something I just want to rid of in this business. And hopefully we could just move past that and know that everybody is individual and we are our own. And when we want to talk about, I'm going to have to bring this back up about, like, you know, how many people don't be getting their rematches.
Right.
You know, Holiday had said how many had not. Let's talk about, you know, how Sandra Moon had multiple chances, you know, and rematches of my FSW championship belt. And what do you know? She finally got it, and Mazzerati still never got a damn rematch. Coincidence, right? We're talking about this.
So it's happening in the indie level as well, huh? It's a conspiracy.
Joe,
I just had to bring that up. You know, I'm gonna throw that in there.
Joe, the Falco, stay woke.
You gotta hit up Joe, man.
That news is probably gonna have to travel, most likely.
But
I'm
like you said,
Joe.
There you go. But like you said, Impact. If we the kings of the day, if I was the king once again, I'll call Scott D'Amore and say, stop playing. Go ahead and sign Mazzerati to a contract right now. If I was king of the day, I'll go ahead and call up Devon. Let's get lights, camera, faction, or tryout, and let's get these boys on NXT. If I was the king of the day, I'll go ahead and call up Tony Khan. Stop playing. Wake the hell up and go ahead and sign Culture F and Inc. to your roster today. And if I was the king of the day, I'll call Joe the Falco and be like, yo, we tired of lights, camera, faction dunking us. All right. Like, look, OJ, we can pull up at any time. Get them boys. The best in the West, the best on the East. Let's see these two teams meet. What's up?
Oh, come on. Well, you know, the thing is about it, we don't run from anyone. We don't duck anyone. And we always ready for some smoke. Culture Inc. So we here. We in zones. We document our vlogs. Right? You guys see, y'all do y'all thing too. So, you know, you're in town. You're in town making the scouts. So, you know, come through and
I think that would be a fire match.
Joe.
Tell Ice Williams to stay woke. Tell Watson to stay woke. Tell
Oh,
Action
God.
Braxton to
Tell
stay woke.
tell your guys. Tell your guys to stay woke. Tell them to stay on their even keels because the faction is gonna rise to the top.
All right.
Do.
Let me
I
ask
tell you
you
what,
this.
all it takes is a phone call. Y'all put it down.
Hey, we might need some sponsors now.
Hey,
Always use some
You ain't lying.
sponsors. Because
all right.
talking about that, that's a mega match potentially.
Mega match deserve mega sponsors. Vegas BadBoyz, stay woke. What's up?
We might
Hey.
we might have to wake up our purse strings a little bit more and do some more sponsorships.
Right. I'm gonna start with you, Fresco. As we're now just gonna come to an end. I want you to give a shout out, whatever promotions you want to shout out there, any dates you want to do. Just try to stay away from this weekend because this is going to play next Wednesday.
Okay.
So anything after this weekend.
Just stay on the lookout, folks. We got a lot of things coming up soon. It's been a lot of things going on, but trust me, it's all coming together.
Yeah.
New episodes of the Fresco Show season 3 is coming back. We got some special guests here. They're gonna be online. We got a lot to talk about, a lot to get into. The Standard will be back in Vegas, and also do not fear my company, the place I've saved. Big Valley, the Valley, King of the North, King of the Valley, the heavyweight champion. My show will be back very soon, too. The Vegas Secret Wars has been going on for a while in Sin City. But trust me, the Kingdom of the Fly will be represented. So the spring and the summer about to be fly.
How does one get to your show, and how about your social media handles,
man? You know what it is. You can follow me on all the social platforms. The Fresco Show is the only live show that can be simulcasted on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Periscope, Go Live Vegas, YouTube, on my Twitter, all at the same damn time because we only do it high quality on the Fresco Show. Mondays live, 7 p.m. Pacific. Mazzerati been a guest on the show. She know what it's all about. It's nothing but high profession now. You can follow me all on those platforms. And all of your news and updates.
No doubt. Thank you very much, Fresco. Appreciate it. Thanks for showing up. Holiday.
When you gonna have a holiday on the show? Huh? We got Coach Dink on the show. Huh? Huh?
Come holler at me. Maybe we can crunch some things. So they can crunch some things.
Holiday, tell us, man, what you got coming up.
Man, okay. What we got? What Coach Dink got coming up? That was a lot. A lot, Fresco. I don't know if we got anything to match that now. Lights, camera, faction, y'all moving. I see y'all. Well, I mean, this weekend you can catch Coach Dink back in Texas City at Reality Wrestling. We'll be out there, and then we gotta make a trip to North Carolina for Firestar Pro because they're having a new Jack Tag Team Memorial Tournament. We're going out for the second round of that. Should be interesting matchup with some other underrated tag teams, the Russell Twins and Sky High. Looking forward to that. Like I said, with the Sky High. There's another. Believe it or not,
there's another Sky High
on the east side.
No,
yes,
East Coast Sky High.
Yes, look it up. Firestar Pro, Diego Hill, and there's another one.
What? How long have they been around?
They've been around. I want to say probably not as long as the Sky High here on the West Coast. I'm gonna say that at least. I think they probably came up that name.
I'm telling.
Sky High East.
We need to have them come out here. It's another Sky High out there on the east side, buddy. So,
wow.
So I mean, I can do a little scouting for you. You know what I'm saying? Get some information, come back, pass it to y'all. You know what I'm saying? Give it to Mondo, see what he thinks about it. Maybe you want to change the name, maybe you don't want to change the name.
Oh my god.
So,
oh my gosh.
we got
funny.
that, and then Coach Ink makes their return to New England.
D-Lo told him a long time ago that if they were going to go to the next level, they got to change the name anyways. I think Disney owns the rights to Sky High.
Yeah, it was a show. Yeah, it was a movie.
Yeah,
Kurt Russell in it.
You know, realistically, yeah. But damn, that's funny. That's funny.
Yeah, I hope
right.
I go back and watch this.
And how do we reach you too, Holiday? If someone want to see what's going on with you and your group.
So just stay woke because the future's ours. Beware of the culture. We're changing the culture professional wrestling one promotion at a time. You can catch us on all our social media handles with the same name. The word culture and then ink with 2 eyes on the ink. With Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. You can find us on all that. Culture Ink with 2 eyes on the ink. Stay woke.
All right. Appreciate that. The hardest working woman in Vegas, Mazzerati. Tell us what you got going on out there and how to reach you as well.
Man, I got a lot coming up. So not in order. Shoot, I have Lucha. So not in order, but in this month and next month, I have Lucha Peroso in Cali. You'll catch me in New Traditional Wrestling in a couple cities in California as well. I will be in Texas for a TBA announcement.
Okay.
You will
Hey,
all
right. All right. Okay,
and then I will be making my debut at Vixen's Wrestling Revolution, as well as making my return back to Belladonna's, and then another surprise that I cannot say yet.
All right.
And Compton Mania. I have quite a few. So yeah, I'm just gonna post it and you'll see.
Give us an exclusive.
I told you. Look out the yin yang.
I'm a bit of a thing, you know.
So how does one follow you?
Yeah, I need to fix that. So on Twitter, it is Mazzerati3. And let me just let you know how to spell that because apparently people still misspell that on flyers and on posts.
Okay.
Mazzerati. Okay. Mazzerati.
Got it.
Mazzerati3 on Twitter. And if you want to find me on Instagram, it is Mazzerati as well, or my government name, Shayna Lazarus, Shayna Lazarus. And then on Facebook, it is Mazzerati Lazarus.
All right.
I found a team for you, Fresco. Here they go right here. I don't know if you can see it, but that's them. Sky High.
Oh my God. And they some brothers too?
I'm weak.
Oh, Sky High.
When to take the name? When to take the name?
They come out to Kendrick Lamar and Schoolboy Q Sky High song.
I wouldn't be surprised.
That'd be so funny.
We gotta have a Sky High versus Sky High match.
Winner takes the name.
Winner takes the name in the Indies.
In the lawsuit.
That best of the West promotion.
No false finish. No DQ finish. Like it's gotta be a winner. Can't do none of that. You know what I'm saying? So it's gotta be a winner.
That best of the West promotion will be good. Best of the West versus best of the East. Sky High versus Sky High. That'll be good.
Ooh. Sounds like money to me. I can't believe this is going on. We got doppelgang. We got multiverse doppelgangers, a tag team here in the Indies. That's just wild.
Simon Street, what you want to say, man? I'm giving you the final word.
Oh man, I get the final word. This is rare then. All right, y'all. So, like I'm gonna always say, always try to keep that positivity with you, make it contagious, and just remember, all of us have been blessed and fortunate enough to be able to make the moves we make that contagious and pass the ball to the next person, so that way we can all raise up together.
Amen.
No doubt.
Blessings on bless.
All right, listen, I'm going to play the outro, but y'all don't leave quite yet, all right, to our panel. But I appreciate you all hanging out with us, and we'll do this again another time, all right?
And I'm glad I made y'all relevant again.
Oh, look at you.
Thank you.
Culture Inc. versus Lights Camera Faction is going to happen. Stop ducking us, Fresco.
Oh, yeah. The sacred timeline says that one day it's going to happen.
Okay.
Yeah,